Hi, team. I wanted to share what a presentation might look like for one of the problems in the challenge problem set. And I've been thinking about this problem number 6 for a few days, and I just wasn't able to visualize the solution. There are two values for k, for which the equation x squared plus 2kx plus 7k minus 10 equals 0. And there's two values for k that make this have exactly one root each. Like two equal real roots is a fancy way of saying one root. Um, the sum of these values of k is blah, blah, blah. So we have to go ahead and find what values of k are, add them together, and then figure it out. So when I say I was having trouble visualizing it, you know that I always want to be able to visualize a problem before I start. And this one, I knew that as k changed, the slope of the quadratic would change at the y-axis, but it wouldn't change its direction of opening up or down, and it would also change the y-intercept, because over here 7k minus 10, this would be the y-intercept. So when k is 0, you see the y-intercept is down there at minus 10, and that's where the vertex is, because this term would have a value of 0. So if I were to graph the line y equals negative 10, you'll notice that line has a slope of 0, and that happens to be where the vertex is. Um, now, and actually, a fun thing I could do here, I just thought about this to show you the visual. So I was having trouble visualizing it. And what I thought was that one of the values would be negative. So that would mean that there would be a negative value here. But of course, you see the vertex just goes down, down, down. And there's two roots. See, there's one root here and one root here if k gets to be negative. So actually, none of the values of k are negative. Something cool happens as k becomes positive here. You see, as k becomes positive, it crosses, and there's one of the situations we're looking for. All right, when k is 2. So that's clearly one of the solutions, you see, because here is the point negative 2, 0. That's one root. It happens to be right on there. And that's when k is 2. So the slope of this term is 4. So that's why it's a tangent at that point. And then watch what the parabola does. It kind of jumps the vertex and then plops back down there. Cool, eh? Because the not only is the y-intercept growing and getting bigger as k gets larger, but the slope is changing too, so that as k gets bigger now, the slope at the y-intercept is growing so large that it just flings the vertex way below. So I wasn't imagining that kind of loop that that the vertex goes on here. I could not visualize it as I was trying this problem. So of course, those are all just tricks that we use to kind of imagine the solution before we do it. This is what an actual solution would look like for this problem. And this algebraically is a good problem. It has its level of challenge, but really once you know that if you're looking for when is there one real root in this situation, well, that's when the discriminant is equal to 0. So b squared minus 4ac equals 0. So let's see, what's our a? Our a is 1, this coefficient. What's our b? Well, it's 2k. We don't know k yet, but it's still just a number. And then what's c? Well, it's these two terms together will give our constant term. So that's c. So then I substitute that in. B squared is 2k squared. Notice I put that in brackets so that I make sure I get 4k there. If I don't, I won't have the right quadratic. Minus 4 times 1 times 7k minus 10 gives the two terms minus 28k plus 40. This creates a quadratic itself with k as the variable. Dividing by 4 yields this line. And then factoring gives us the solutions here of k is 2 or k is 5. And that's what we saw in Desmos. And then over here, that's why E would be the correct answer over here, E, a value of 7 for those two roots. So I learned something from this problem and by puzzling over it and working on it in Desmos. And that's what I'd like for you to find as well amongst these problems are different challenges that you can't initially solve, but maybe you use a tool, or maybe you get some help from another person, or maybe you sleep on it and wake up with some insight. That's all going to help grow you as a mathematician and also allow you to have some fun with some challenging questions. That's it for me. Bye-bye for now, everyone. Thank you for showing up for your learning.